Hey guys, are you ready? Because today we're going to finish our needle felted fox that we've been working on throughout the last couple of videos. If you've been crafting along with us, we did the armature in the first video, the fox's woolen base and legs in the second video, and now in this final video, we're going to be putting on the fur and all of the final details needed to make this needle felted fox. So before we get going, let me quickly outline what you're going to need to get started. A needle felting mat, a needle felting kit, colored wool roving. We have a rusty orange color, black and white, glass eyes. You can buy ones to sew on or push in, or you can even needle felt the eyes with wool. Whiskers, scissors, and glue. You'll find a list for all of these below with links to purchase if you like. To start, let's pull off some orange wool roving and we'll start felting it onto the fox's body. Going until all of the white undyed wool has been covered with orange. There are a few ways to do the eyes. We tried at least 3. The first is to sew on or insert glass eyes. Here we have black beads that we sewed on. Another option is to simply needle felt an eye into that space. We tried this but found it very difficult to felt such a small piece while keeping it realistic. We ended up doing a combination of styles. We needle felted some black onto the indentation and then inserted some glass eyes, which is simple and adds a touch of realism that we really liked. Once you get the eyes on, you can continue to shape the head and nose. Ours was definitely too short and round, so we began to thin it out and elongate it using the orange wool. We'll continue to tweak this until we're happy with the shape, but it's an ongoing process. Our next focus is the tail. We wanted a nice fluffy tail for our fox that was orange and had a white tip. So we began to felt a shape that we would end up wrapping around the wire of the armature. Measure your felted piece against the armature intermittently to be sure that you have the desired length. Once you're there, you're going to start adding depth in the form of fur. Get the wool thick and fluffy by pulling it apart multiple times, as you can see Lucy doing here. Then starting at the top of the tail, you're going to add fur as demonstrated by Lucy. Basically, you're laying down a wad of wool and felting a line across it, and then brushing both ends into the same direction. When you come to the end, taper to a finish with white wool. Now we can fluff it up and trim it. Then we'll felt it right onto the fox's armature. You want to make sure that you're felting the edges together and that the top of the tail is securely felted onto the fox's body. We added a little more orange wool to this area in order to hide the area. As you're going along, take the time to intermittently fluff out the tail and add more fur if there's a bald spot. If you've gotten this far with us, this is what we're looking at. Next, we're going to make the ears. We examined different pictures of foxes so that we could get the ears just right. We started ours with a black base and began felting it into a shape. As you go along, you can pull the felt to help shape it into the ear. Don't forget to flip it over to felt the back, as you will see both sides of the ear. When you're happy with the shape, we're going to add some white wool at the front. Then we'll add some orange fur on the back of the ear. You're going to make 2 of these, obviously. Now let's felt the ears onto the head. Now, as you can see, our fox's head and snout shape is not ideal, so we're going to make an extension of the snout. We ended up struggling with the shape of the head and neck. We felt our fox looked more like a horse or something, so we continued to tweak things until we were happier with it. There were a couple options for the nose. You could use a bead or air dry clay, or we just filled in some black wool into a ball and felted it into place. We're still not perfectly happy with the shape of the head and snout, but we're going to go ahead and felt the lines for the mouth. Now it seems that many foxes have white fur extending from their lower face down to their bellies, so next we'll felt in some white fur. We applied it to the cheeks, lower jaw, neck, and belly. Twist a tiny amount of black wool into a line and felt it in over the white wool to show the mouth. Then finish felting in the white wool. We're still tweaking our fox's look. How far you go with this is up to you. We're going to put in some orange tufts of fur on the upper part of our fox's cheeks and white wool on the lower parts of its cheeks and neck. Finish this part by combing out the fur and trimming it. Okay, so we thought that one thing that should help our fox not look like a horse is whiskers. You can get them online. Ours were pretty long, so we cut them in half. We made a hole in our fox's cheeks with our felting needle, applied glue to the end of the whisker, and then inserted it into the hole with the help of our felting needle. It's finicky work and kind of feels like bad dental surgery. But when you're done, it's worth the extra effort. So there you have it. Our sweet little fox is complete. If you've crafted along with us and made it this far, you're awesome. Now be sure to subscribe so that you don't lose us. In our next video, we're still needle felting, but we're going to do something totally different. We'll see you there.